Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our next poem, How to Tell Wild Animals. This poem is written by Carolyn Wells, the writer. She was an American writer who was famous for books based on mystery. Her famous works are At the Sign of the Sphinx, written in 1896, Jungle Book, written in 1899, The Story of Betty, also in 1899, etc. This poem is very humorous and it suggests some dangerous ways to identify wild animals. In this poem, the poet has explained the characteristics of various wild animals in a very funny way. She has used language in a way that it generates humor. Humor means humorous word also it is written here. It means the things that are making us laugh. She is introducing the reader to various kinds of wild animals like Asian lion, Bengal tiger, bear, etc., explaining each of the animals in a very humorous way. This is also we can call the central idea of the poem. If you talk about the central idea, the poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells revolves around the dangerous ways to identify the wild animals. The poet tries to distinguish one animal from the other in a very humorous way. The poet suggests that it is very risky to be in such a close proximity, means closeness to these wild beasts. The poem is thus very educative as it tells us about various features of wild animals. Okay, now let's move to our stanza 1. Students, you can see here the picture of the lion, the Asian lion. Here the poet is trying to tell us how if you go inside the jungle, how will you identify the Asian lion? If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. Here I have underlined three words for you to get you know the meanings. First word is advance. It means to move forward. Next word is tawny. Tawny means brownish yellow in color, and the next word is beast, a dangerous animal. Here the poet is telling the readers that how they can identify or recognize various animals in the jungles of the east. So in first stanza she says that if the reader comes across an animal whose skin is yellowish brown in color, and if it roars at him so strongly that he or she can die out of fear, it means that he has encountered an Asian lion. She has humorously explained the Asian lion which could kill a person with its roar. Now, if ever you should go by chance, that means if you get a chance to go in the east of the in the east jungles, and if there should to you advance and you move forward a large and tawny beast, and you get the chance to meet with a wild animal who is brownish yellow in color, if he roars at you as you are dying, and if the wild beast roars at you and you feel die out of fear, you will know it is the Asian lion. You can immediately identify that this wild beast is an Asian lion. I hope this stanza is clear. Let's move to the second stanza. Now in second stanza, students, you can see which animal, which wild animal this is. This is Bengal tiger. Now here the poet is humorously explaining how you will identify this Bengal tiger. Or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Three words here. Noble means hair very impressive in size. Ground, ground means background. Here वैसे ground means we usually know the meaning of ground is a type of a ground that in which we can sit or we can play, but here it is the background. And the last word is discern. Discern means make out or identify. Here the poet says or explains an animal that roams in the jungle and belongs to a royal clan. If the color of its skin is yellowish with black stripes, she says that if you notice that he kills you and eats you up, then this means that you have surely seen a Bengal tiger. This time also she has used dark humor to explain how a tiger looks like, because once a person has been eaten up by a wild animal, there is no use in determining which wild animal it is. Let's discuss line by line. Or if sometime when roaming around, when if or sometimes when you are roaming in the jungle, a noble wild beast greets you. Noble, we have used here noble in a very impressive way. The poetess is used noble word for the wild beast. Greets you, that means if he meets you, and if this wild beast has black stripes with the yellow background, just notice if he eats you. And if the wild animals eats up to you, that means this is very simple rule to identify that animal, and you can identify that animal as a Bengal tiger. Now I have told you that poet has used a very dark humor. Suppose if some animals eats up to you, how will you identify that animal, or how will you tell others animals that you have met with Bengal tiger? I hope this stanza is very clear to you. Now let's move to the third stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. 'Twill no good, 'twill do no good to roar with pain. He'll only leap and leap again. Here the poet says, if strolling forth means if you are walking casually, that means strolling forth means walking casually. If you are walking casually in a jungle, a beast you view, and you see a wild animal whose hide with spots is peppered, whose skin is hidden with spots. That means when you met with a beast whose skin is hidden with the black spots on his body, that means as soon as he has leapt on you, and if he sees you and he immediately jumps on you, you will know it is the leopard. Immediately you will get to know that it is none other than leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only leap and leap again. Now, moreover, she adds that if you will cry out in pain, it is not going to be of any use, as it will keep on jumping on you. So, in this stanza, the poet has explained the characteristics of a leopard. If strolling forth a beast you view, that means the poet says that if you are casually walking in a jungle, you will meet an animal who has a skin with spots on it. This animal is so fast that it will leap on deep on you at once, which means that it will jump on you. This jumping is an indication that it is none other than the leopard. Moreover, she adds that if you will cry out in pain, it is not going to be of any use, as it will keep on jumping on you. Okay, here I have written some word here. I have underlined some words. Strolling forth, I already told you. Walking casually. Okay. Hide means hidden. And the peppered, here it means the spots. And leapt, jump towards someone. I hope this stanza is clear to you. Now let's move to the next stanza. Our next stanza. If when you are walking round your yard, here yard means backyard or the lawn area of a house, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard. Be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he'll give you just one more caress. Caress means a gentle touch here. Okay. Now here the poet says if you are walking in the lawn area of your house and you meet a creature which hugs you tightly, it is a bear. She further adds that if you're still in doubt regarding the animal, the easiest way is that he will keep hugging and touching you very gently. This act of his will make you sure that about its identify. You will come to know that it is a bear. It's a very easy stanza. I hope it is cleared. Now next stanza is Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena. Thus, hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. Here I have underlined the words. First is distinguish, that means differentiate. Next is beast of prey. Any animals that hunt other animals for food, they are called beast of prey. Next is novice. Novice means someone new to a job. And nonplus, be confused. Okay. The poet says here that for someone who is new to the job of recognizing animals, it will be like a puzzle to recognize animals that hunt other animals for their food. So here the poet tries to help out the readers by telling the difference between two animals. He says that hyenas will be smiling, whereas if it is a crocodile, it is always in tears. Both of these animals are dangerous. I hope it is clear. Now, our last stanza. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it's the chameleon you see. The poet says that the next is chameleon, which is a small creature. It looks like a lizard sort of thing means it looks like a lizard. But the difference between the two is that chameleon doesn't have ears and wings. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. Moreover, she says that chameleon has the ability to change its color according to the surface on which it is sitting. Therefore, if you see a tree and find nothing else on it, then it must be chameleon sitting on it. It has changed its color into the color of tree. It is written here, if there is nothing on the tree, tis. Tis means it is. It is the chameleon you see. That means there must be a chameleon sitting on the tree with changing its color. I hope the poem is clear to you. Here you have seen that the poetess, how she differentiate all the animals and how she humorously tells us about the difference between all these animals. I hope the poem is clear. Now uh, we will discuss all the analysis of the poem in our next video. Thank you and have a nice day.